Hello everyone, welcome to a special Halloween edition of Bladefiles. Now, zombies are the new rage. Zombie apocalypse is everywhere in pop culture. So we're going to talk about surviving the zombie apocalypse. Now, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm on vacation. I now get to kill things without ramification of, law or morality, and in more unusual and interesting ways. So it should be fun. Let's hope it comes soon. So we're going to talk about surviving the zombie apocalypse with a sword. Now, this is a Gnunting sword trainer, but we're going to talk about a few strikes that you can use to defend yourself. Now, when you're in a zombie apocalypse, it is best to decide what type of zombie apocalypse are you in. Are you in the atypical Romarian type, where the Romarian zombie that moves very slow and stumbles and is stupid, but in mass can be very dangerous? This is the optimal one. This is the one you want to wake up in, because these zombies, stupid, don't know what they're doing. Or are they the new pop culture hyper-adrenalized zombie that somehow keeps moving no matter what? Now that one is more difficult. That would be more of a hunker in place type of zombie apocalypse. But I'm going to give you some sword strokes that you can use that might help if that situation arises. So I'm going to use Mike as a target. Mike, if you just stand over here to explain certain strikes. Now, you have your sword blade. Now, remember, sword blades get dull. They need to be cleaned, and they also need to be sharpened. Okay? Also remember, with zombies, thrusts to the body do not work because they don't feel pain and they won't die. Thrusts to the face are very, very difficult. So the first thing we're actually going to talk about, and I should have mentioned this, is a thrust to the face. If you're going to power thrust at anything with a sword blade of this type, grab your wrist, reinforce, and use this thing, and I mean rock back, and use this thing as a harpoon into the face. Hopefully you can penetrate and get to the brain to kill said zombie. Now, Mike isn't a zombie, even though he doesn't talk in a lot of these. He's actually alive. So I intend to keep him that way, well, for a moment, throughout this series. The next strike is a 3-count circular strike. So if you strike in a circular pattern on your right side, you see how I'm striking and I'm snapping and striking, I can now use that force to whirl my blade. If I do this, and this is a typical Romarian zombie, I can just slice through his limbs until I can get to the top of his head. Now, you really don't want to strike somebody on the top of the head with a sword blade, because the problem is, if you bury the blade into the bowling ball and they drop dead, they're going to pull their sword blade out of you. But since this is a zombie apocalypse, you have time to pull this thing out and fight the other Romarian type of zombies. The other strike is a double front circular strike. So I do my circular strike high, but I break my strike and point. And I put my body behind the strike. Everybody see how I'm pointing my blade? This point, I can still thrust up here, but now I'm dropping with my body weight at the top of my head as I do a double front circular strike. So I make a circular strike, I rotate the strike and thrust if I want to. This could still be a thrust if everybody can see the motioning. But you strike, 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 strike. Now, what if you don't want to have to stop, clean your blade, and resharpen it in the Romarian apocalypse? Well, you can take your sword blade, especially this type, use your heavy back spine, and bash his brains in with it. And you don't have to worry about the sharp end of your... Now, if it bounces back and it hits you, that would be bad. Or it bounces back and it hits a comrade, that would be bad. So pay very, very strict attention to what you're doing and how you're stroking with the back spine of the sword blade. Now, the other thing is the hyper-adrenalized zombie apocalypse. Just stick your leg out, Mike. You don't want to go for the upper body because they're still moving. You're chopping off limbs, backing up, they're still moving. What you want to do is you want to go for the legs and continuous motioning at the legs with an over-the-head arcing strike, either one way or the other. And you always want to be whirling your body as you do it is, especially if you're surrounded by them, to cut off their main mode of transportation, which is their legs, obviously, because they still need tendons and muscle in order to operate. So if I take out the patella of the knee or I take out an ankle, they're going to have a much, much harder time chasing after me and eating me. But of course, in a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to be dead honest now, as I speak, there's no such thing as a zombie apocalypse. Sleep well, because in reality, you're either dead or you're not. And if you're undead, that is what we would call a non sequitur or an oxymoron. So, happy Halloween, everybody. This has been Bladefiles. I am John Bednarski, and faith, hope, and love, everybody.